add overtime in project, the resource's total work on the task will remain the same. When you enter overtime, the number of hours will be scheduled as overtime. The same amount of work will be performed, but in a shorter time span. Project will assume that the overtime hours are included in the work hours and will not add it as additional hours. This is going to affect the payment to the person assigned to the task as a resource, as project will not produce the correct amount to be paid to the resource. In Gantt chart view, I have a task, hire new resources. It will take 5 days to complete. If I right-click on the Gantt chart area and choose Resource Sheet, I will be able to see the resources that have been assigned to my project. Here I have a trainer. The trainer works at maximum 100%. They charge $200 per hour. The overtime rate is $250 per hour. Before I assign this trainer resource to the task, let's go back to Gantt chart view. It's going to take 5 days to hire new resources, so the trainer is going to be busy for 5 days. The 5 days is going to be of a working week of 8 hours a day per 5 days, which is 40 hours a week. The trainer will be using the standard calendar of a 40-hour week. I am now going to add the trainer as the resource for this particular task. Let's add the trainer's costs. Right-click on Resource Names and insert a column. We are going to add cost to this column. It has worked out that over 5 days at 8 hours per day at $200 per hour, the trainer will be paid $8,000. We want to add 2 hours per day, which is going to be overtime when hiring new resources. We need to make project understand this. 8,000 is just the time, 100% spent 8 hours a day for 5 days. We want to up this to 10 hours a day, 2 hours overtime, and 8 hours normal time. We are now going to change the view by clicking on the View tab and then scrolling to Split View and putting on Details. We are now in the task form. The task form will have the graphical representation, the table, and the task form at the bottom. We are interested in the trainer. Right-clicking on the gray area will show you the type of view that you have selected. We need to view just the work in the task form. Right-click on the gray area and then choose Work. We now have the perfect view to fix our overtime and work units. In the overtime column, I'm going to type 10 hours because I would like the trainer to do an extra 2 hours per day for 5 days. Clicking in your Gantt chart on Hire New Resources will refresh the duration. We will see that the duration has reduced. The reason for this is that the work hours are inclusive of the overtime hours. We need to ensure that the work hours are exclusive of the overtime work. Adjusting the work hours to 50 will then update the duration back to 5 days, and the cost of the resource has increased to include his overtime payment. You now know how to work with overtime by assigning overtime and modifying calculations in order to include overtime in Project 2016.